Guys, how are you today?
Hi, Bonnie.
You.
Good to see you. Greetings from Toronto, Canada. I know you shot this in Vancouver. You must have had a blast, huh?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Nice to meet a fellow Canadian.
Well, hello, exactly. We go
Yep.
way back to the Hunger Games. I think even
Oh,
before, but
yeah.
anyway, I digress. Guys, this series, what I've seen so far, I mean, it hits the ground running. Alexander, let's start with you because when you are working on something that comes with a very popular fan base, it's based on this, very popular book. Um, does give you added pressure, or do you just kind of say, nope, I'm going to do it my way?
Honestly, I think it's the latter at this point. I've done enough adaptations that I've realized,
Yes,
you do everything you can, obviously, to stay true to the books,
sure.
understanding that what we are making is the screenplay
Right.
and the adaptation, right? So for me, it's about the characters that I'm presented with and doing them justice.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And Jessica, for you, when you find that you're working on something that is adapted from a book, do you need to read it? Had you read it? Do you care? Or you just want to go buy the screenplay?
I looked at the book as the bones. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? I didn't want to use it as a Bible, but I did want to see sort of how the writer made Emma and who he saw her to be. And so I actually didn't read it ahead of time. I read it whatever episode we were on. So as I studied episode two, I read up until episode two in the book.
right.
As we were on three, four, I read up through those events so that I could have sort of a fresh take on my experience also as an audience member, but using how he describes her because he describes her so beautifully in the book. And so I wanted to bring that into my performance as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you guys are riveting, I have to say. And Alexander, the situation is just mind-boggling. Imagine waking up and the whole world is pretty well like, what? I mean, listen, we went through COVID, but thank God it was nothing like that, right? Kind of put your mind into perspective and bring this character to life and find a way to relate to him in any way.
I think the only people who could probably truly relate to that kind of an experience is somebody who's been in some form of solitary confinement,
Mhm.
and by some crazy stroke of luck, we've all experienced a version of that through COVID. I also drew from I did this 50-mile hike through the Pacific Northwest, and I remember taking a lot of my experience from that to this project as well. I remember the feelings of just entrapment and isolation and truly there wasn't as much acting as involved. It was
Oh
I felt
yeah.
that. Alexander. Like well, just in especially in the pilot episode, like I didn't realize how lonely I was going to be.
Sure.
But it was a very, very solitary experience, so much so that when Ish finally finds his lifeline in
Yes.
Emma by the tremendous Jessica Francis Dukes,
Yes.
I also found my lifeline as an actor, and I almost I swear I almost teared up just having somebody else to
You did.
finally work with. I did. I
I,
think I
I
did.
would have too, for sure. Yeah, no,
It's like finally I have somebody else
Mhm.
to go through this with. It was the most gratifying experience I've ever had. Michael
yeah.
Wright promised that it would the role of a lifetime, and it certainly has proven to be that for me. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And Jessica Francis, let's go there because when you two connect, I mean, you're each other's lifelines, yes, and there's so much that happens between the two of you. But come on, when you do a show, a movie, whatever it is, and you have a partner that you're going to work with you've never met before, and you're like, oh God, I hope this works. Clearly it worked because if it didn't, you guys are excellent actors and you should get Emmy awards. Well, you should get Emmy awards anyways, but honestly, to
Uh,
me, it felt like you had that real connection. Jessica, can you talk a little bit about that when you guys started to work together and why it worked so well?
The entire set was this bubble of love. And I think it's the top, Todd Komarnicki, every day we walked in. And I remember my first Zoom with him, it was just with Michael Phillips and
yeah.
Juliana and Kiri, and everybody was just so like heart first.
Yeah.
And then when I found out who was playing Ish, I was like, dang it, I didn't want to know. I wanted to just meet him first day. And then I found out and I was like, okay, I hope he's nice. And he walked into the room and he was just like this bursting heart, you know what I mean? And so it just forces you to be like, oh, great, you don't have anything on you. I can take everything off of me. And
Yeah.
when you can be in the room and work with someone and not need armor, and you
Yes.
can just tell the truth and just play. You know, I come from the theater, and even though he says he's never been on stage, we're going to put him on stage because he's just so open, and I'm open, and what I think we both benefited from in this.
Yeah, I love myself a good post-apocalyptic story. I mean, like I'm a Walking Dead freak, and I like all these shows and stuff. You know, how about you, Alexander? Like, are you a fan of this kind of genre now, having worked in it? It's kind of like, yeah, I think I could handle it if God forbid this happened.
Do I think I could handle it? Probably not. I mean, I think I would go on a pretty similar journey to what Ish did. I would look for
No.
other people, try to surround myself with as many animals as possible. But I am such a fan of that genre. I think what set this apart, though, and why I was truly riveted by not only the book but the amazing screenplay that Todd wrote, was there is this element of hopefulness in this story that I don't find in these other shows. Like this is the monsters lie within in this story.
Yes.
They're not around us. It's about people. It's about what would you actually do if COVID didn't stop? You know, what what would we do? And it's about the importance of human connection and the rebuilding of and rebirth of the world and having to navigate you know the poisons and new tribes that you meet and what happens if you're you know struck by a wild animal and you have no doctors around. You know, it's things like that that we explore. Um, to me, it's the most true story to what would actually be the case.
It makes you
Yeah.
think about what we really take for granted. Like, honestly, you're right. Like, we go to doctors, we call the dentist, we, you know, things like that. So yeah, it really does make you think. Just to wrap it up really quickly, Jessica, are we going to see you in the Gilded Age? Is this true?
Yes, season 3.
Tell you something. It's like that show is spectacular. So being from the stage, just very quickly, being with all these Broadway legends. I mean, come on. Were you pinching yourself?
Every single day, every single hour, every single second and minute. Yes.
I can't wait for season 3. So I'm very excited not to mention. Well, Alexander and both of you, it was such a pleasure to talk to you both. Alexander, it's always wonderful to talk to you as a fellow Canadian, but also just to watch you grow from just a young kid being an actor and then having talked to you on Hunger Games and all that. Congratulations on all your success and best of luck with this series. It really is a winner, and I can't wait to finish it off. So thank you for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
So much.
Oh, you're
Okay,
amazing.
guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right,
Bye.
bye.